We all know the real estate market is changing all across the country and even the world. What are we going to do? As an agent, are you going to be with the lions or are you going to go with the sheep? Today, we dive in. What's up, everybody? Coach Kane here with the Realtor Playbook. As always, like, comment, subscribe. If you're interested in joining the life-changing group at EXP, the Wolfpack, and partnering with myself, Mike Sherrard, Louis Galt, please absolutely book a call at this link below. This link has all kinds of information about what we are doing and what we are doing differently to level up agents all across the country and the world. All right, we've all heard the lion or sheep comparison, right? So let's compare it to real estate agents, and especially right now in this time of flux, no matter if your market has changed a ton or it's just dialed back a little bit, this is an important concept and really important to decide which way we're gonna go as agents. Are we gonna be a lion or are we gonna be a sheep? And so what do lions do when things get tough? They stand up, they fight. They're kind of, the king of the jungle, right? And so that's where we kind of have to look at ourselves as agents is, are we going into this full force or are we pulling back? The sheep just go into their herd and kind of hide. And, when there's something chasing them, they want to be in a group so that, they don't get eaten first. And so do you want to be with the herd of, the agents that are scurrying around, not able to, build their business and are so concerned about the market and what's going on and not willing to adapt? Or are we going to be the leaders of the pack and change something and do something a little bit differently that allows us to remain at the top of our game and the top of our industry? This one's fairly an easy comparison for the real estate market. For instance, if you have clients and they've bought a home, and this has not happened yet a ton, but they bought a home and maybe they bought at the top of the market. Are you the agent that's going to go in and hide and just be like, oh, those people are gone, I'm never going to use, they're never going to use me again because they bought this house and the market shifted? Or are you going to be the agent that says, hey, I don't have any control of this market, but these are the strategies? And if the strategy involves maybe cashing out and getting out of that investment that's going downhill, that might be something that you need to be there to do. Because if they, have a job loss in a recession, or they can no longer make that mortgage payment, I think that that's something that we need to focus on and make sure that we're being there as an asset to our clients. Not just the day you close, that relationship's over. You want to continue nurturing those clients, and not everyone's going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year on their house as we go back to a more stable, normalized market. But we still need to be there, and we need to be there for those clients that become in time of need. Even if it was, an investment, you thought it was going to do better and whatever, you never control the market. So you can say, this is what's going on. Maybe don't make predictions and next time, if you did that and they're upset with you, but be a resource for them, help them through that problem, not necessarily to get another deal, but just to, maintain that relationship with them. And the honest truth is, a lot of people, when they're in a house and, maybe the values turned upside down, they got a down payment assistance, they don't have any equity, and then they lose a little bit of value, that's where people kind of freak out. The honest truth is, if they can just pay that mortgage payment and nothing's changed there, then they'll be okay. If they do need to sell before, losing all the equity that they may or may not have, then that's something you look at. Are you a resource for them on a short sale, or, helping them get out before it forecloses, and all of those things. So sheep kind of just hide and say, oh, we're done with that relationship. Lions stand up. They take, responsibility for what happened, even though we don't control the market, and they step up and they're a resource. And so that's the biggest, delineation of lions and sheep. And it can go the same thing for buyers, right? Say, you have buyers and you're like, hey, right now is a good time to buy, even though the interest rates are high, and you're leading, you're standing up, and you're telling them why. Or you can be a sheep and just wait for them to call you. And then when the market has increased and appreciated, maybe next year, maybe rates are higher, then it's harder to get them under contract because the competition's up. And you could have been that resource and that guiding light, and you can't force anyone to do anything. I'm not saying be a lion and just be like, this is what we're doing, let's go. I'm saying be that leader and be that voice of reason, and tell people, give people the information, and what they do with it is their choice. Are you going to give the information and be positive, or are you going to follow the herd and be negative and say the market's crashing and all this other crap that's going on? That's up to you. For instance, when the interest rates went up, some agents just pass it off to the lenders, kind of pass the blame off to the lenders. Other agents say, okay, how else can we do this? Can we change your situation a little bit? Can we get funds from here to change your mortgage insurance or whatever? And you're reporting on the market. You're out there saying, yeah, interest rates are high, but this is where I see your advantage, or, and just staying in front of it. But we also will report when the interest rate goes down a little bit, like, recently in June, the interest rate went above 6 and it was headline news. Still, I'm having conversations 8 to 12 weeks later. People don't know that the interest rates went down a little bit after that high. Someone asked me yesterday if they were above 7. So that's something that we need to report on and just kind of keep people in the know. And we're not lenders and we're not reporting this information, but they're seeing those headlines. And if we can report on those headlines and talk about it and bring it to a hyper local and make it make sense in layman's terms, then we're good to go. So that's another chance for you to be a lion and, pass that information along. It's real. We don't have control over it. This is what it is. This is where we're going. Or you can be a sheep and just be like, oh, talk to the lenders, talk to whoever, they're going to give you the bad news and I'll just be here, Johnny, on the spot when you're ready and you have some good news. So the honest truth is just be, upfront, honest, have some integrity, and stand by your word and have your knowledge base to know that what you're doing or what you're selling is a good investment, regardless of if the market goes up 20% or maybe corrects a little bit and goes down 2 or 3%. So that's where we're at. So across all markets, lions or sheep, which one are you? Diving into interest rates, home prices, all of that stuff. It's a great opportunity that we have every day as a real estate agent to do and provide content and provide that information. Are you going to go from a positive, forthright, future looking, or are you going to go from a negative, woe is me, this is what happened in the past and I don't know what to do about it? This is the same when the market changes from a seller's to buyer's market. And I want to be clear right now, we're not going to be in a buyer's market for quite some time due to the basic laws of supply and demand. But a lot of agents are out there saying we're in a buyer's market now. No, buyers just have a little more opportunity. Sellers are still in the power position, in my opinion. But this is something that, agents all the time, list or die, right? That's kind of the age old across the board. But, all of a sudden now we want a bunch of people reaching out, hey, how can I have ads to get buyers? How can I get ads to get buyers? Well, they didn't do that when the market was crazy. So they're shifting, and that's okay. You can shift your market. But the honest truth is you have a balanced market and you can make money off of both. And if you just say, I'm not working with any more sellers because it's not the seller's market anymore, I'm going to transition all to buyers, then you're limiting your aspect and, you're kind of going with the crowd. Whereas if you're a lion, you kind of have, all aspects and you're a better asset to your clients. And say we do shift to a buyer's market. Let's talk about those listing agents that have been just throwing slop up there. And I will tell you, over the last 2.5 years, it's been pretty easy to sell a house in the MLS just by putting it in. But now, if we have these people playing all this back and forth, they don't have the relationships, they don't have the experience to sell a home, and that's exactly what you need to do. Do we need to stage homes? Do we need to make sure that's good? Absolutely, but do we need to do that in a seller's market? Had you been staging homes and providing marketing in the seller's market, could you have got your clients more money? Probably. So those people that were doing it in that hot market need to continue to do it in the buyer's market, because as things change or shift a little bit, like we feel like we're in a buyer's market, although we're not. So let's just say in this market currently, like staging homes, pricing appropriately, marketing appropriately, all of that stuff is valuable. But if you're just starting and you haven't done it and you've just had one pricing strategy for the last 5 years and you haven't had to hone in your skills, that's where things get a little tough. So that's where the agents that are, providing professional service across the board, regardless of the market that we don't control, is something that's important. So if you would like to talk about that, talk about strategies, talk about what our group is absolutely doing, check out this link right here. We would be happy to have a call with you and talk about growing your business in that aspect and partnering with the life-changing Wolfpack at EXP. But in the meantime, really take a look back and say, okay, are we a lion or are we a sheep? And if you want to be a sheep, that's fine. If you want to be a lion, that's fine. If you're a sheep and you maybe are just leaning that way, but you realize that this is a problem and you want to become a lion, let's talk. Book a call in the calendar link below. Would be happy to sit down with you and provide my entire marketing strategy. If you're interested in my PDF document that has a 10-point list on how to appropriately market properties, both for the buyer and the seller, please comment and subscribe, and I will absolutely send that to you. Comment, maybe say, I want your 10-point checklist, and we'll reach out and we'll figure out a way to get in contact. I'll send you an email with that in it, absolutely free. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Super excited to chat with you, and I want to see more lions in the pack, and maybe we can start our own herd of lions over here. You never know. That hasn't worked out, but we'll figure it out. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.